Welcome to another video. In this video, we are going to do a simple initial dynamic analysis of an unknown binary. To start, we're going to go ahead and start Notepad. I like to have Notepad going at all times so that I can take notes of what's going on with my analysis. So I'll just open that up and place it there. I'm going to say this is my dynamic analysis. Of course, no matter what, I follow a process, and I'm going to not follow that process during this analysis. As you can see, I've sort of aligned my icons in my Windows 10 analysis system. These are sort of all of the all of the static tools that I would use. These are all the dynamic tools that I would use. But I do like to start with the hash calc. So I just like to have my hashes calculated every time. So I'm going to go Control C. So this is MD5. It's getting a little old, but still a lot of records are on the internet with the MD5. So I do like to keep track of it as well. But I always sort of keep a SHA-1 in the background. All right. So of course, as you saw, this is my example. I'm going to go ahead and look at the properties. It's about 35K. All the standard stuff. And that's about it. So what I'd like to do, I'm just going to go ahead and start some tools. So the first tool that I will start is a pate DNS. And so this is a tool that's going to go ahead and I'm going to say intercept all of my DNS calls. So I'm going to start that, and then I'm going to allow access. So anytime any system tries to get to the internet, they're going to go ahead and do a DNS lookup first. And instead of going to the internet to find the IP address and then connect to it, it's just going to find localhost no matter what. And we're just going to be able to see everything that's going on from a network perspective. We will also want to go ahead. I'm going to start redshot now already. So redshot is a tool that allows us to take sort of a snapshot of the registry before and then after a thing happens. So I'm just going to put that right down here for a second. And I have process monitor. I'm going to start process monitor as well. It's taking a little bit longer because of course the smart screen isn't going through because of the pate DNS, but I'm going to go ahead still and run. I'm going to go ahead and agree to that. Click yes. And so this is going to go ahead and it's just going to keep going. And as you can see, it's collecting events as we're going. So we're going to want to keep going, keep moving. And so I'm going to go ahead and go Process Explorer. And run. And click Agree. And I'm going to slide this guy over, let's say right about here. Pull this as big as I can get it. I'm going to assume that my example is going to live and execute in my context, not in the system context. But I don't know that for certain, but I'm just going to go ahead and believe that's the case. I'm going to go ahead now that my system is all set and ready. Next shot, of course, or next step will be to double click on this dynamic analysis example. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and take my first shot. And so what's going to happen is this program is going to go through the system and it's going to identify all of the artifacts, all of the state of the current system. And then of course, after we run our example, we can go back later and we can take another shot and then compare the two. And then of course, any differences, presumably, or most of the differences, I suppose, are because of the dynamic analysis example that we're going to run. Again, of course, you can see that we're almost at 1 million events that we've collected in just those few minutes. So that's going to be a fairly significant, I'm going to say, pool of data that we're going to have to walk through in our analysis. Okay, now that that's finished, I know it takes a while. I'm just going to put that down there. And I'm going to go ahead and double click on my dynamic analysis. I'm looking over here to see what happens. Over here, it's going too much. We're now at 4.4 million events, but we're going to go ahead and search and filter through that later. We're also going to be taking a look to see if there's any networking going on. Clearly, we have a whole bunch of connections to Microsoft, but not a whole lot else. So I'm going to go ahead, double click on that. And I see that's popping up. And I've got this console host window. And I've got this, let me see, I can go ahead and I can go to properties. I can take a look at the strings. Is there anything in there? I don't see anything. I think this is just a console window, so we don't have anything here. A whole bunch of, I don't know what. But this is Microsoft, so let's just close that. I think we can close that. So I killed that con host, but I still have this new file here. This win update 332. So let's go ahead and go to the properties. And we still have strings, and we have this 8300.dat. We have this all users profile. We have a whole bunch of buffer full return keylog. That's not good. A bunch of interesting things here. Escape, tab, control, the Windows key, print screen, ints. This looks an awful lot. An awful lot like a keylogger that's going to be storing our keylog or storing our key clicks. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go and close that. I'm going to shut this down. So I'm going to just kill the process tree. Click OK. I'm going to go up to our registry monitor. Well, before I do that, I'm going to do my second shot. Yeah, second shot. Don't want to wait too long for that to happen. All right, you may have just saw that I went ahead and I went to File and I stopped the capture of events while that was going on. I also, you'll notice that there was, we had finished taking the second shot. Now I can go ahead and compare. And I'm going to go back and just take some notes. So we had redshot. So let's see, we fired first shot, then, oh, okay, so we're going to take a look at that. So we're going to just slide this over here. leave that, and then started unknown binary. Let's see, so we had Process Explorer running, and so we observed that dynamic malware example started, let's see, 1, a con host, and 2, this looked like this thing called win-up-32.exe. We examined con host.exe and found that it was standard Windows fare. We examined memory. Well, we examined the strings in memory of win-up-32.exe, and it looks to be a key logger, but we didn't really see any files. Let's see. So then we did redshot. We took second shot. Let's see. Before then we had procmon. This was collecting data. We fired that. Redshot. We took the second shot. Then we procmon stopped capture. Although, truthfully, let's see, we killed con host, then we killed went up to 32.exe, then we took a second shot, then we just did stop capture, and then we did a redshot compare, which we will talk about, and now we're going to do some procmon analysis. So we did nothing. Okay, so we'll also see procmon analysis. We also, let's go here somewhere. Let's do a pate DNS. Nothing noted except standard Windows chatter. All right, so we can get rid of this. I think we can get rid of that. We're done with that. We still need that. And we want to take a look here. So let's bring that a bit bigger. So we're going to use a filter. So we have about 8.5 million events to crawl through. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this filter. I don't want to talk about architecture, but I do want to talk about process name, and I'm going to say contains, and I'm going to use dynamic. And yes, I want to add that now. And so it's going to take a second to do that search or do that filtering. So while that's going on, let's see, filter for only dynamic in program name. Okay, perfect. So let's see. Let's pull this a bit bigger. And pull that a bit bigger. And here we go. Right at the start, we can see that we are loading the image. Then we're loading. Let's see, what else do we have? We're doing a whole bunch of standard registry type things. Loading, still loading. We've got a lot of DLLs and a lot of Windows stuff to go through. Still. Still. Loading a whole bunch. There's another example. There we go. So this is a thing. So what we observe is this process, dynamic analysis example, creates a file called C program data win up to 32. All right, so let's take a note of that. So this is creates a file called C program data win up to 32.exe. Okay. We've got some more touches from there. We got some more touches there. Process create. Let's go like that. Oh, oops. Control X. This over here. And then now we're gonna create process win up to 32.exe. That's a thing. Now, more stuff. Still more. Oh. Reg open key. Windows current version run. Reg set value. We're creating a win up to 32. All right, so that's no good. So we are creating a value in the registry called what was win up to 32. Thread exit and process exit. All right. Okay, so we've got a whole bunch of process thread exits. Okay, so that's an interesting thing. Let's go ahead and let's take this one off. Let's go to process name is win up to 32.exe. Enter. Yes, I do want to add that. While this is running, I can go ahead and make some more notes. So we're going to filter on win up to 32.exe. And what do we find? So process start, thread create, load image. Oh, here we go. Query, thread create file. Program data prog 8300.dat creates file C program data prog 8300.dat. And then we've got query, write, close, create, query, write, close for a lot. Okay. So I think we gotta go. I think we found a lot. I think that we found everything we want here. So we can go ahead and save these events. So we're gonna save all the events in that format and we can just save them. Let's go to our desktop. Desktop, save. Okay. So now we can say saved events to file. We can do a hash of that. No, let's just do a SHA-1 of that because we're not likely to find that anywhere. So we can go ahead and do that. Let's take a look at redshot. What do we see? So redshot is going to tell us all of the differences in the registry. And what we're going to notice is there's a bunch of things here that doesn't really mean anything. A couple deleted, and we have 299 new things. Of course, you can see there's a bunch of just settings. A bunch of settings. However, here's a thing. So we have HKey users, this user, software, Microsoft Windows, current version run, win update. So that means, redshot, we have an auto run. This is on logon to start this file again. All right. Let's just go ahead and let's verify with regedit. So we can go ahead and do a regedit. Okay, we have current user. And then it was software. Microsoft, Windows, current version, and run. Run. So here it is. So this is current run. This program is going to run every time this user logs into this computer. So this is persistence for that piece of malware. So now that this isn't saved, we can throw this away. I'm going to take this and we're going to save this, save as onto our desktop. This is going to be our redshot differences. Okay. And I'm now going to go, I can close that too. I'm going to go, we're sort of winding down. We can go C program data. And here's two things. Open with. Grab that notepad. And this looks an awful lot like a, what's the word? A keylogger. And what is this? Okay, so we're just going to go ahead. So this, we find the file. We've done everything here. Let's just go ahead and go, and now we can do PEID. And let's do the resource hacker. I don't know why PEID didn't start. But we'll go ahead and run that. P-Explorer. Let's take a look. Let's open it. It would be great if we can just drag and drop. Seems like we can just drag and drop. How about this one? Oh, let's go here. Let's grab that. So this is Explorer. So this is some sort of a, this is a resource inside of that file. And what do we have? It's clearly a program. Clearly. So we can go ahead and we can save this as a bin. So this is just going to be our resource.bin. So we're done here with that. We can close that. Now what we'll do is we will go ahead and we will click on, we want to click on hashcalc. Oh, that's why, because it was taking so long, because we're still not. Now we're going to just have 50 million. Don't run. Okay, so we have a PEID here. So first of all, what we want to do is we want to grab this. And so I'm just going to go ahead and Control C. So I know I started a whole bunch of things at the same time. So now this is the win-up32.exe. This is a SHA-1 of that. Now, we also had this resource.bin. Go here, click that, and then Control C. And so this was resource.bin, SHA-1. Those look the same. What else can we say? So that's it for that. We can close that. So this means this resource bin for PEID, we have a Win32. The sections are just normal. What can we say? There it is. That's not that big a deal. We can look here. We can look at the imports. Bunch of imports. So we can create threads. Do a bunch of things. Okay. Not so interesting. And what about this guy? We can take a look. That's not really what I wanted. Boring. Sections. So there is a resource section here, but we know that, so we can close that. Doesn't seem packed. It doesn't seem anything. Not a whole lot. The import table. Again, not a whole lot. Kind of boring. Kind of boring. So I guess we can exit. What do we have here? Is there anything? Let's go. We could just load everything. We can call it a bin. Click there. Continue. So again, this is a lot like PEID. Does a whole lot of the same stuff, really. What can we say? Not a whole lot. There's not a whole lot there. Right. Okay. So I'm going to just close that, cancel it. So I'm going to say that's about it. So what we can say, so conclusions. Oh, right, we need to save the Control X, Control V. What we want to do, we also want to make sure we take a hash of our data. Okay, that's a big file, so it's going to take a while. So what we can do is we can do our conclusions. So this was an unknown executable. It had another executable in a resource section. Let's see. The resource payload was extracted and stored to a hidden directory. The executable payload was started. The payload is a keylogger. That's going to take a while. Okay, and we can grab the SHA there, Control C, and now we have it. Anything else? We can grab the redshot differences, Control C. So this is save the differences file, and then SHA-1. Okay, so that's our analysis. So what we've done, we took the hashes of the original, we collected data, we fired the first shot, we observed, we saw things going, we killed that con host, didn't seem to make a difference. Then we killed the win update 32. I think that we captured a whole bunch of data, so leaving it running wasn't necessarily not valuable. We didn't see any networking going on. However, maybe we should have waited longer, but who knows? We took the second shot with redshot rather. We stopped the capture on procmon, and then we did a comparison. We saved the differences. We verified with redshot, and so what we observed in addition to the this is the run on logon key. This keylogger will restart upon login. Okay. We saved the differences. We looked in procmon. We found this win32exe. We see that it gets run. It makes this registry that we just showed. Then we filtered on that. It creates this data file. We saved all of those events. So we took a SHA, so we took a hash so we can see it back. We took a look at the win32 update, and we decided it's a keylogger. So thanks so much for watching. That's an example of sort of an initial dynamic analysis. And we sort of did a little bit of, if I'm going to say, a static analysis at the end, just to make sure that what we found dynamic wise matched the static findings. So thanks for watching.